And we are live after a bit of a hiatus. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from YouTube, KGRA Digital, and of course, the Static Planet. My name, of course, is Michael John of Michael John's Paranormal Ghost Stories, available on all Amazon outlets. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm an author. My co-ghost host next to me, my lifelong friend, my lifelong partner, my ride or die guy. I think you all get the point. High spirits. Oh, the man of the hour, the man of the power. Too sweet, woo, to be sour. He, of course, is Dale. High spirits, quickly together. We are the voice of the paranormal, the voice for the paranormal. Windsor, Ontario's the Paranormal Voice. And what a show we got today, folks. Been off a couple weeks, doing our own things, getting busy, kissing babies, shaking hands, taking names. Dreams do come true. Life is good. Just go for it, folks. All those sans hashtags. I could have threw hashtags in front, but I didn't feel like it today. But we are hashtag blessed, thankful, grateful, humbled to all members of the TPV Nation. That's the Paranormal Voice group on Facebook and the creeps, the freaks, the weirdos. From day one to day now, we don't get to do what we're doing right here, right now, without all of you. Thank you so much to everybody for the continued support, always inspiring us, always positivity floating our way, and we hope we're giving that back to all of you. There's the one and only Jason. I got to take my glass off. Jason Cummins, of course, a very, very ironclad member of the TPV Nation, and just an all-around good dude, you know.
Absolutely.
And his wife, she ain't too bad either. She's pretty cool too. But Jason, he's out there. He's running along with the Lunker Nation, if you know. Some little side thing we do. We're involved in hitting the gym, just focusing on mental health, physical health, just being positive in life and encouraging others. And he's definitely a part of that. Certainly has encouraged me on a few of his posts for sure. And I thank you for that, Jason. Thank you for being here tonight. We got a hell of a show tonight, Dale. Dale, you've been busy. You are hot off of what you had going on, your telethon for the one and only Shaylee class, dealing with cancer, that situation. 13-year-old, the bravest girl we all know. Dale, let's talk about that a little bit. T-shirts online. There is the code underneath, Dale. If you, I believe you take a picture of that with your phone, it'll take you right to the link to get Strong Like Shaylee T-shirts.
No, actually, that is the QR code to get to the GoFundMe page. So if anybody would like to donate to the GoFundMe page, yeah, just click that QR code. That's going to be on the bottom of our screen now until we get the word that Shaylee has kicked its ass and got rid of cancer altogether. So we are going to continue the support, the love, and the prayers, of course, to the one and only Shaylee. Yes, no, I tell you.
Yes,
what an amazing time that I had back on July 13th with our good friend Bill from KGRA, of course, the producer of KGRA, helping us spread the word and the love. And we had 6 hours of the greatest guest lineup. Sometimes we had to pile them up on top of each other and get everybody on the screen all at once. Just
incredible.
Because everybody wanted to be a part of this. I appreciate everybody. If you've not seen the video, go back. You can check out the video. It's still on our YouTube page. You can see all the great, exciting conversations we were having with everybody. But yes, no, the T-shirt is still available itself. You can get yourself one of these great Strong Like Shaylee T-shirts. I'm just going to put the website up. Where are you? Website. There you go. Along the bottom right there. You could go to shopforme.com or rescue Dawgz, DAWGZ.com, and you can still purchase one of those fantastic Strong Like Shaylee t-shirts.
Yes.
Craig over there printing off the shirts on a daily basis. Get your orders in. They are fantastic. He just launched some new ones, so now you can get it on hoodies, black hoodies, on a regular t-shirt, on a tank top. If you're hitting the gym, you can wear a Strong Like Shaylee top like that. But yeah, no. So head on over. That's also the same place you can get our very own Paranormal Voice t-shirts. You can get those online, and he's got some more that we're going to be debuting in the coming months, hopefully. So we're still working on some t-shirt designs with Craig. So, like I said, go over there to rescue-dogs.com and pick up your t-shirt. All kinds of stuff out there that go to support not only Shaylee, but he raises funds for local animal shelters as well. So go on over there, check him out. So before we bring on our fantastic guests right now, folks, this video that I'm about to play is so inspiring. It is, like I said, our good friend from Get Haunted, Rob Stakowitz, who produced this. I just love this video, and it truly brings to what this cause is all about. So, folks, here it is once again. For those that have maybe never seen it, this might be your first time. I'll say grab a tissue because it is.
Who's the one who can rise above? Take a chance, do it all for love and no regrets. Up ahead there's an open door, and you gotta find what I'm looking for, and I'm on my way. Well, time moves on and the days go by, but the sun don't set on the stars tonight, and I spread my wings. My head's in the clouds with my feet on the ground, my aim held high and I'm moving on. My time is now to make all my dreams come true, to let all the light shine.
Truly amazing and powerful stuff. So yes, the QR code's there. Guys, help out Shaylee and the Class family. Dan is a big, huge part of the paranormal field, as we all know. Great guy, always giving back to the community. Now it's our time to fight for him and his family and show Shaylee a little bit of love out there. And just one more thing before we bring out our guests. Don't forget, coming up August 17th, right there, if you're in the Buffalo, New York area, the Class family is having a benefit event for Shaylee. You can go down there. It's going to be a full day. They've got some appearances booked, I believe, if I read that correctly. It's from 2 to 10 p.m. So if you're down there, go to the Banshee Irish Pub right there in Buffalo, New York, and help support the family. They're all going to probably be there. And it's a great way to come together. And like I said, the event that we hosted back on the July 13th, absolutely amazing event, went off spectacular. And I thank everybody who was a part of it, the people who were with us for the whole 6 hours watching the show and the whole bit. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Michael John, we had a little clip of Michael John. Michael John was off on his own little adventures that weekend, which was really cool. Can't wait to talk about that in the future. Like I said, we even though we haven't been on the air doing what we love to do best, we were busy behind the scenes doing what we needed to do. Growth is absolutely an amazing thing. So yeah, it's exciting things coming down the road for us, brother. I guarantee that.
Oh, for sure, man. We've been busy is an understatement, but I mean, it's all good. We're very proud of what we're doing, what we're accomplishing. And when we can reveal it and let everybody know, we're certainly going to let them know the whole story of the who, the what, the why, the when, the how, and what's happening. in our worlds, if you will. Some's not even paranormal related, but it's all related because it is us. With that being said, time to talk about our guests. I'm excited to have these two gentlemen on. Very, very interesting to say the least. I had a chance to talk to them backstage. The one gentleman, this guy, he's been fascinated with the paranormal for years. This guy grew up in a haunted farmhouse. Cannot wait to pick his brain on that stuff, ladies and gentlemen, if you know what I'm saying, right? The other gentleman, 20 plus years of experience in the paranormal field. What a marriage for a team. With what I just mentioned right now, we're not even scratching the surface. They've had several private residential cases in Connecticut where they're from, 35 plus locations they've hit from Maine all the way down to West Virginia. And this all started in Middleton, Connecticut, February of 2021. Let's bring them out now. Mike and Adam, better known as two Brothers Extreme Paranormal.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going?
Hey, welcome, Adam. Welcome, Mike, to the
Thank
show.
you.
We're
Thanks
so
for
glad
having
that
us.
we were able to get this show back and rescheduled as soon
Absolutely.
as we possibly could.
There's one thing I just want to say right off the bat. Shaylee, we are thinking of you.
Absolutely.
We're praying for you every day. Dan, we love you. We've been to the Hinsdale house multiple times, and you've treated us like family. So please, people, click that donate. Get those shirts. Let's help them as much as possible. Shaylee, we love you, and we're praying for you. You got this.
You can do it. Kick that cancer's butt. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, guys, you guys were a part of that fundraising event. Absolutely amazing time. Like I said, we had some amazing people come out, show love, show support. And I'll tell you, it was one of the most exciting things that I've been a part of. And I was just happy that Bill over on KGRA, definitely an amazing guy. KGRA,
Through,
great family place. And it was so good that everybody came together for one cause. I mean, you know, this is what I believe the paranormal community should be about: coming together,
100%.
sticking up for our brothers and our sisters,
100%.
and, you know, being there for each other when we're being knocked down to the ground. Because, you know, bullshit has no place here for us in the paranormal. We want to support.
We need that love and support back that used to be there. When I started this, we had tons of love, support, and we all got together and worked together, and we need to bring that back. It's out there. The teams are out there. We just need to work together and still get back. Yeah. All this bullshit that's going on, it can be defeated.
Yeah, it's that stuff. I steer away from that stuff to the best of my ability. If I see it, I just scroll on. I don't get involved in that. I don't want to know. I don't care. I'm not going to inquire. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Yes, I can say that.
100%.
There's no time for that. Life is short, man. Let's enjoy however that resonates.
You'll never see any of it on our personal page, and you'll never see any of it on our actual business page for Two Brothers.
Exactly.
We're here to love and support and help everybody. That's all you'll see. Good vibes.
Exactly. Now, to brass tacks here, folks, as they say. Dale likes using that. I'm stealing his line. Sorry, Dale. I'll make a T-shirt for you. Brass tacks.
Sweet. Now to brass tacks. Here we go.
Hashtag.
Yes, hashtag. Gotta have the hashtag. First thing to ask, of course, Adam. You grew up in a haunted farmhouse.
Yes.
At what age? I mean, so at what age was your first experience? Number one, that's the first question. It's a two-part. Your first experience, and then number two, your scariest, freakiest, creepiest, however that resonates, all those words, moment in that farmhouse.
So first experience, don't quote me, it's probably about 5 years old, maybe between 4 and 6. I don't remember exactly that far back.
Sure, fair enough.
That's when it started. The scariest part was probably where the nightmares got so bad of the window in my room. There was this tree that it was alive. It wasn't dying. It wasn't rotting. It was alive, but no leaves would grow on it. It wouldn't bloom, no flowers. It was weird.
Yeah.
And this shadow creature thing would crawl in my dream. Would crawl. It was like I was watching it if I was awake. Would crawl up this tree, stare at me through the window, and jump through the window and attack me. And that's when I would wake up. I didn't know, anything after that, and it was just weird. It wasn't like I didn't get nothing like attached to me. I say attached because I'm in the paranormal field now, but back then I wouldn't say attached, but I just couldn't sleep in the room. And then my grandfather ended up painting the window with black spray paint, so no light could come through.
Oh boy!
And the dream stopped because it was like it couldn't get through the window. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing. It was probably the weirdest thing since being in the paranormal that's ever happened to me. Like,
now, let me ask you this. I mean, relating to the dream, the creature on the tree that you saw. Now, could be one of three things. We're just for theory's sake and sake of conversation. Of course, that's what we're doing here.
Yep.
Out of body, astral travel, remote viewing. You said it seems so real, so that's why I'm asking. Let's pinpoint maybe one of these three topics: out of body, astral travel, remote viewing. If it was that real, do you think it was one of those three as a possibility?
Out of body, the way I see out of body is like it's you. So I don't think it was me causing the, but I don't know. I still don't know to this day what it could be, in those, like it's something that I probably will never figure out. Because the house is now gone. It is industrial park, so, and B, the tree's not even there anymore, so it's something that I'll probably never get an answer to.
Sure.
I don't think it was ever something evil, or as a lot of people call in the paranormal field, demonic.
Yeah.
I think it was, I don't know. I think it was something of an animal spirit, maybe, that climbs trees.
Yep.
Or someone that was attached to the farmhouse, and I was in their room, that didn't like it, and was trying to scare me out of it. So
right, get out of my bed, damn it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and the funny thing is that wasn't even a bedroom. So it was there was a couple bedrooms on, if you're facing the house, the left side, and then this was like there. You literally walked down the hallway through the door. There was this room, and then through another door, and you could go down the other stairway on the other house, which had other bedrooms up on the second floor. So it was like a common room, like maybe like an office or whatnot in the farmhouse, and it was big enough to make me a bedroom. So
wow,
that's what we
interesting.
did.
Very interesting. Now, in the whole of the farmhouse, I mean, not only in your bedroom where you had these experiences, I mean, was there anything else going on in the entirety of the house, if you will? For example, like maybe I'm picking at straws. You can fill in the blanks, obviously, but like maybe disembodied voices, shadow figures throughout, anything like that, apparitions.
So cabinet doors would move.
Oh, love it.
I don't know if it's because it's an old farmhouse. You always try to debunk stuff. So was it a breeze that moved the door and made it flutter? What else happened there? You things would creak. The only other thing that ever happened pretty seriously, which I can't explain, is we had an old cast iron wood stove, with the flat top where you could put your pan and warm up your water if you lost power.
Jesus, that's cool.
And the fire had not been running for a couple days. And we came home and the fire was burning.
Whoa.
So like it was on. So, but here's the debunking it. My grandfather put wood in it in the morning, even though it's been 2-3 days
Could've been a
where the
lit
coal's
amber.
still hot enough,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
2-3 days, coals shouldn't be hot enough to light a fire, especially if it's split wood. It's not like it's paper that was in there.
Right,
You know,
right.
he would just stack it with wood.
Right.
So I mean, I wish the house was still there so I could go figure it out,
Right.
debunk stuff. Now
Yeah.
that I'm more experienced in the paranormal field,
Yeah.
but it's something that I'll just have to think about the rest of my life and try to figure out. And you learn something new every day in the paranormal field. So, a couple years down the road, we might go to a haunted building or property, or do a private somewhere, and it may be something the same thing as we had back when I lived there, and we might get an answer to what it actually was, and I could go, you know what, that could have been the same thing that happened in my farm, in the house I grew up in.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's something that I hope happens. That we I can find an answer. But
Now, Mike,
Yeah.
your turn. So,
What's
seeing
up?
here.
Okay.
20 plus years of experience in the paranormal field.
Actually, going to be 20th year this year. 2004, I started.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Passion is real. You've been doing it 20 years. That's
I
real
love
passion.
it.
You can't deny it for sure. Now, Mike,
Absolutely.
same question for yourself. First
Okay.
experience and creepiest, freakiest, weirdest experience. So,
All right.
maybe it's
So-
one thing or two part. Go ahead.
I was 14 years old. My grandfather passed away, and me and my father moved into his house to keep it running. And it was just my grandfather that was living there. My grandmother died way before my grandfather. And I moved myself into his bedroom upstairs. And one night, I'll never forget this. I had my TV on because I always like to sleep with TV with noise going. It helps me sleep better. The TV shut off and went to the static. It was making the static noise, and I woke up to that. I'm like, what? Why is my TV doing that? And all of a sudden, this large ball, glowing ball, came in through the doorway up in the corner of the room and just floated
Ooh.
and just stopped. And I couldn't move. I couldn't talk, couldn't say anything. I was literally laying there like if somebody was laying on top of me.
Yikes.
And it lasted probably for a good a couple minutes. And then finally the TV went back on, cable came back on, the thing just disappeared, and I was able to get up. And basically, like, I let out a scream, like, what the hell was that? Because I couldn't talk, couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's going on? Like, what was that? My grandfather? Was it his bedroom? Was he trying to let me know he's there? So couldn't figure it out. As the week went on, the garage door would open and close by itself. The lights would flicker. We'd have cold spots. One night I was sleeping in the bed, and all of a sudden footsteps came across the hallway to my bedroom, and that was it. I was done. I went downstairs. I literally slept on the couch down in the living room, and literally there was times where you heard footsteps come down the stairs, and it was one of those where I was like scared to look up the stairway. When you see a dark stairway, you're like, what's going to come down this?
Right.
And that's what got me into it, like, ever since that experience. But go to find out what it was he had hidden jewelry in the back room where the bed is. There's a doorway that we didn't know about, and the bed frame was up against it. And he had all this jewelry that was in there that he wanted us to find. He tried telling us where to go, and finally one day we found it moved. Like, it was weird. Something was moved to where we were able to find this little doorway. And we opened it, and there was rings. There was everything inside of this, like all gold jewelry. And ever since we found that, everything in the house stopped. We literally didn't hear noises. We didn't see anything. The garage door stopped going up and down. The lights stopped flickering, and it felt like a welcoming feeling now. You know, like, thank you for finding that for me. So that was what got me into the whole paranormal, was that experience right there. And then 2 good friends of mine had a team, and we started a team together, and we worked for a while. And then I joined another team, and then been doing it on and off, and met Adam, and that's where we went. Here we are.
And you guys, how did you guys meet?
So my ex-wife and his wife were good friends.
They work together.
They worked together, and they introduced us to each other. And one day we were sitting on his couch, and we were watching Ghost Adventures
because he couldn't do anything else.
It was during the pandemic. So we started talking about it, and I told him what I used to do, and I had all this equipment, and we actually grabbed the car keys, and we headed up north to Vermont that day.
I literally turned to him, and I was like, well, so let's start our own team, and why don't you get on your phone, find somewhere, we'll hop in my vehicle.
And the very first place I found was Retreat Tower in Vermont.
Yep.
And mind you, it's January. So we drove all the way up to Vermont, and we're looking at the GPS, and we're like, where is it? And we're parked in front of this huge mountain.
It had like a ski slope.
There was a ski slope on the side of it
With a
coming
jump.
down with a jump, and the parking was full of ice, and we looked at each other. And
I almost crashed my wife's Jeep.
We
because
went-
pulled in the parking lot, and I hit the brakes. And even though the parking lot looked flat, it was like sloped. And Mike goes, "You gonna stop? You gonna stop?" And there was like a 6x6 wood, like guardrail that surrounded the parking lot.
Well, we stopped then. Let's just put it that way.
Good thing there's a big steel front bumper on my wife's
But
Wrangler.
The funny thing is, we're looking at my GPS. We're like, it says it's in front of us, but we're looking at this mountain. We're like, no. And here we are in sweatpants and jeans and shoes.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, maybe it's not as bad as we think. Well, the whole mountain was snow and ice. We went all the way to, it was probably about 2 miles of hiking.
Yeah, a mile and a half, 2
Mile
miles.
and a
up.
half, 2 miles up the mountain, and we found the tower. And it was locked because, you know, people were jumping off of it committing suicide, so they locked the door, so we weren't able to go in it. But we did EVP sessions around it. We got some good EVPs, actually. And then we experienced a guy and a child screaming in the woods down from the tower.
And we saw something running in the woods.
But then it just disappeared. There was
Yeah.
nothing there.
I tried running after, like, because up there is flat.
Mhm.
So we like heard it, and you looked, and you could see, like, it looked like a kid and a guy and a child running away. And I was like, oh, dude, I went after it, and I got over to where the trail went, and you could see straight and like down. There was no one.
Yeah.
There was no one.
Meanwhile, it's probably about -5 degrees because it's January in Vermont.
Yeah. And then a hiker actually walked by like 2 minutes after I got to the tower. And I was like, did you, because he came up from where
He had those ski shoes on.
Yeah.
He was doing the skiing with those shoes.
he came up where I chased the people and went down, like looked down. He came up that way. I was like, hey, did you hear any, like, a guy and a kid screaming and running that way? He goes, no. And I'm like, Mike?
Yeah, so
And he looked like he looked at me like I had 10 heads on me.
you know, and the kid was screaming like bloody murder, and the guy was like, "Get over here! Like, don't you dare run away from me!" And we're like, "What the hell is going on?" And they just disappeared.
Yeah.
And this tower there's an insane asylum. I can't remember what it's called, but the tower is called Retreat Tower. And the insane asylum was down the back end of the mountain. And they thought for the best thing for the patients to do was to build this tower. So they built it by hand to help them get over their things, you know, like they could start doing activities and stuff. They finished the tower, and then the patients started jumping off of it, committing suicide down the hill to where the insane asylum was. And they're like, well, we can't do this anymore, so they locked it up. But
and then they opened it up to the public.
Yeah, and then the public started doing it.
And then, like, they started having suicides from the public.
So they literally
wow.
put this big chain and lock on the doors.
Yeah,
but
there's a
it's
big old
cool.
lock.
Like this handmade tower, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a tower, but it was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing to ever experience. And then when we were getting for the EVPs, like responses and stuff, it was even better.
Yeah.
And that was our very first thing that we did together.
Yep.
Nice. What a way to cut your teeth.
Yeah, absolutely. That. So it obviously fueled the passion even more because it's like now you just have to keep going to find what else you guys can
Yeah.
trigger.
And all we did was look up things on my phone for a while. We're like, what's areas around here, things that aren't like on the map, little things. And we started doing all these other stuff it's on our YouTube. We have videos on our YouTube page. And I mean, we did Downs Road in Hamden, Connecticut, which was supposed to have like the pumpkin heads, they call them, these creatures that have big pumpkin heads. And we saw some crazy things in the woods there where we experienced and we went during the day because they don't have access at night. The neighbors like to call the cops on people that come through there.
You could walk through there during the day,
but at night, forget about it. They'll call them instantly. And we experienced some crazy things there. And then we started hitting up the places that were on the maps that other companies were offering for investigations for the public to come to. And then ever since, we started working with a couple companies, and then we started doing our own private stuff.
And Downs Road, it's cool. Like after seeing like some weird things, like we saw this, like we didn't know, like we tried to think that like maybe it was like a big coyote or something.
It was some weird creature standing on a trunk,
on
a tree trunk, a massive tree trunk out in the
that
middle.
area. Like a year or so before that, had like a tornado come through. So like there was a lot of trees down, and it was standing there. And I was like, Mike, I think it's time to go back because that is a lot bigger than the knife I have in my pocket. So we should probably start walking back.
As soon as we saw that creature, we froze. All of a sudden, you heard like somebody ran up behind us. You can hear the footsteps in the grass, in the leaves.
Yep.
We turned around. There was nobody there.
Yep.
And where we were standing, you could see where we parked the car by where the people live. And all of a sudden, it looked like there was a police car behind our car with the lights on and people standing around it. So we're like, great. So we start walking back. We started getting even more EVPs. I was still running the DVR. We got a spirit like screaming into the EVP, like into the visual recorder. I don't know where that came from.
You kept on hearing people.
So you kept hearing like running up behind us. So we kept going faster and faster. We get to the car. There's nobody standing around the car, and there's no cops. Yeah. So it's like it made us. It forced us out of the woods.
Either it forced us out of the woods, or there was something or someone there watching over us, knowing that if we went farther, something bad could have happened, and made us turn around. Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But when we got back to the car, there's nobody there. Yeah. Nobody standing around. No cop car. No nothing. Our car's just literally just there, and it was maybe about a 5-minute walk.
Yeah. Wow. But it's true. Like sometimes you don't know, like what the other side is capable of doing. Like, was it something interfering with you guys going further so that there's no harm coming to you guys? So they're like, hey, let's like mess with them and make it look like there's a cop behind their vehicle, so they're going to run back, before their car gets towing. Adam, I just want to go back. I mean, I want to get both your guys' opinion on this and something that you just said a little back a bit ago. Now, demonic entities. Now, that word gets thrown around the paranormal field so much. Like everybody, a lot of people, and I find it's mostly the people that are not a part of the paranormal field. I would love to get your guys' take on where you guys stand as far as demonic entities compared to just regular negative energy, which basically that's what I think it is.
So, is there demonic spirits out there? Absolutely. Are you going to come across it every investigation? Absolutely not.
Right.
Something gets thrown off a table, knocked over, door slams. walls get punched, glass breaks or something. You know, the first perfect thing, oh, it's demonic. No, you know, there's a place we went, one of our favorite places, White Hill, and every time we went there, it was like a party in the speakeasy downstairs, the bar. Party. We've been there probably 4 times before, you know, and it's always a party. Play mob music, act like a bartender. People will be playing cards. We get crazy activity every single time. Go there the next time, walk in the door. It's like, yeah, something don't feel right. And I looked at Mike and he goes, yeah. You feel that? And I'm like, yeah, dude, something's not right. Like, this is not the same energy that we get every time we walk in there. We do our thing. We're going through the night. We're down in the speakeasy. I'm pretending to be the bartender. I'm playing like old mob music. And, you know, we're getting things, but it's like not like it usually is. And we're sitting there and we have our XLS, and it's just like it will map you out, right?
Yep.
So we had 2 people. We had me and this other lady.
And Steven was there. Steven was on the other end.
Yeah. And like that person's figure was staying with them. Mine was doing some weird stuff. Like it wasn't like the person standing next to me. So yeah, something does not absolutely.
Yeah, Steven knows. He was there with us.
So I started not feeling right. So I left behind the bar thinking maybe they didn't want me behind the bar no more. You know? I'm sitting down and Steven, Mike, and a couple of people are like, Adam, you all right? It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not feeling right. Something's wrong. I just don't. Something's wrong. And they're like, we need to get you out of here. You know, you need to go outside, ground yourself, and go out. I that's the last thing I remember. So after I came to outside, one of the people there was saying prayers, trying to cleanse me around me. I came to, wasn't feeling too hot, but I was coherent, you know, thinking, you know, I could talk and I understand what you're saying. Mike comes out, you all right? I'm like, nah, dude, something's not right in there. He goes, well, I'll tell you this because you're out here. When you walked up the stairs, I was like, yeah, I don't remember any of that. He goes, well, when you were taken out, a black mass followed right behind you across the screen, up the stairs. And as soon as you went up, the black mass disappeared. And I could see on the screen again.
Yeah, when he was being affected, me and Steven was there and a bunch of other people. We started packing up, put the cameras away, started get the equipment together, and we left the XLS running. And when I mean this black mass, it covered the whole screen. It went from seeing everything to not seeing anything at all.
Man.
And he's going up the steps, and it literally followed him up the steps. As soon as he hit the top step to go through the door, our screen came back and it was perfectly clear. Nothing on the screen. No black masses, no nothing. And to this day, I can't explain what that was, but it just sucks because we were packing our equipment, all our cameras didn't capture it. And it was amazing how it moved. It literally just went side to side and then followed him up the steps.
Yeah, and then we went back there a time after, one more time after. And, you know, I was a little, you know, how do I put it?
A little in and out.
In and out of not wanting to go downstairs. You know, something. It's still, I had that same feeling when I walked in. And then there's another gentleman that was there,
Joe B.
Went over to him. I found this out afterwards.
Yeah.
Came over to Mike
He
and
took
said,
me
hey,
aside and he saw something with Adam as soon as Adam got there.
He said,
and he's like,
wasn't there when I saw Adam outside. But as soon as he walked in the building,
He's like, you need to keep an eye on him tonight. Don't leave him alone.
So the whole night we were getting EVPs. I want Adam, and then it was trying to lure Joe B.
And Steven again.
And
Steven
Steven
was there again with us.
away from me because they wouldn't leave me when we were downstairs. One was behind the bar, one was standing behind me, and it was like we got an EVP. Hey guys, come back here. I'm here. I'm back here. I'm
Yeah,
back
the back
here.
corner area.
In the back,
where if you go to the back left, there's where they kept all the like beer and wine and all that kind of stuff. Kind of like a back cellar area. And whatever it was kept luring them to that back area. We had REM pods going off back there. We had like our EMF lights were following to that area. And it kept saying on the spirit box, back here, come back here.
Back here. And as soon as they went back, we'd get on the spirit box, I want Adam.
Mm-hmm. Constantly.
And then when they went way back, the second time, it said it worked.
Yeah.
Meaning like their plan worked to get them away from me. Like they were my protector. And as soon as it said it worked, I was like, guys, get back here.
But have you ever had anything follow you home? I mean, with stuff like this going on, have you ever had anything follow you home? Do you have anything at your residence, either of you now?
No, nothing now.
There we go.
I did.
Something did follow him home from his
honeymoon.
So
me and my ex-wife got married during COVID, and everything was closed because of COVID. So luckily enough, we found a spot to go to, which was upper state New York, Lake George. Okay. We went there for the week. And Fort William Henry is up there, which I absolutely love that place. And I had the opportunity to do a ghost hunt that night. And we're on the honeymoon, and I'm like, well, do you mind? And she was kind of iffy about the whole paranormal thing. So she's like, okay, let's do it. So we investigated. It was part of like a public thing that they were throwing on that night. So we did our own thing. We were able to free roam and all that kind of stuff. And there was an Indian called Him, H-I-M, that lived downstairs in the basement under steps. Now, supposedly the story about him was when the soldiers were on their deathbed, he would come through and scalp them all and finish them off in the fort. So supposedly he hid down in the basement under the steps, and I was one of those at the time, like, okay, maybe it's just a story. Like, I didn't believe the whole thing because, sometimes they up the story a little bit to get you to come in there and investigate and everything. And that place is pretty active. We saw some crazy things that night. We saw red soldier, or the red coats going by on stairways, and they said there's no stairs there, there's no floor there. How do you see them? And I said I just saw 4 of them go by the window. And they're like, it's actually a museum area. There's no flooring. So we saw like stuff like that. So finally I went down in the basement. I'm like, all right, I want to see if this is legit. Like, I literally called him out. Called him out and said, I don't believe you're here. I want to see what you can do, blah, 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 all that fun stuff that you were normally not supposed to do. And everything went great. I got a couple things here and there, but nothing like crazy. And as the week went on, we're home, and she noticed a change in me, and I was very angry all the time. I'm not an angry person. I have fun. Absolutely. And I was always angry. I could never be by her. I couldn't even sleep in the same bed as her. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand. Like, it got to the point where it's like, I need help. Something's not right. So I called a friend of mine, Roland, who is good with, he has another team that I work with, and he cleanses and does all that kind of stuff. So he came to our apartment. My wife left.
I came over.
He came over, and the first place we started was my bedroom because of the fact that's where I couldn't stand my wife the most. Couldn't even be in the same bed as her. Couldn't even look at her. Always got into an argument with her. And I'm laying in bed. Meanwhile, it's summertime. I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden, it got so cold in the room, you could see our breath. Mm-hmm. And my buddy Roland had the EMF meter on the bed next to me, and it kept, or you did, it kept dropping. It went from 85 degrees, kept going, and all of a sudden, Roland goes, oh, no. I said, if it says 666, I'm done. Don't even tell me. So all of a sudden he pulls out his phone and he takes a photo of it. And I'm like, oh, no. It literally stopped at 666
And I started
on the
taking
temperature
pictures
thing.
of the on the side of the bed.
So he's taking photos. Finally, all of a sudden, I got this anger that came through me. I had to leave the bedroom. They brought me out into the kitchen. I sat at the kitchen table, and I have these black crystals for protection that you're not supposed to break. I blacked out, and supposedly I crushed them so much they turned into dust in my hands.
Yeah,
and they fell down to the floor, and that was it. It was all like piles of dust and this black crystal.
At that time, he's staring at me like he wanted to come across the table, and pardon my French, but the only way to get the point is, he looked at me like he wanted to fucking kill me.
Like, I don't remember any of this. I don't remember.
That's how. I'm sitting across this decent sized table, and I'm taking my chair and going, moving it backwards, and I hit the wall, and I'm like, shit, there's nowhere to go. And I was like, Mike.
So he got me out of it, and we had an SLS camera going at the time, and we had it pointing at Roland because he's grabbed the sage and he wanted to start saging. And as soon as he went to light the sage, a stick figure showed up, and it looked like it was literally boxing him.
Yep.
Like it was literally doing this to him. Like it was trying to fight him. And I'll never forget this. As soon as he hit that sage with the lighter, the thing bent over like it died.
But then
it got back up and started punching him again, like it was trying to punch him. As soon as it was fully lit, the thing lit up. The thing disappeared. The stick figure was gone.
It bent down.
I felt like weight came off my shoulders. I felt totally better, back to normal. Like it gives me the chills. Like I'm getting chills now just thinking of it.
Yeah.
And
that gets better.
He started saging. Everything was great. Everything was going on. My wife was like, "Well, what happened?" I said, "I'm not going to tell you. Let's just keep it at that. Everything's okay. Let's put it that way." So the following week comes on. Now, Adam.
So after that night, I went home. I started not feeling right.
Oh, gosh.
Every little thing aggravated me. I could sleep in the same bed as my wife, but like just every little stupid thing aggravated me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, to the point where like even like the light turned green at a traffic light and like the person didn't hit the gas, and I'm like, "We hit the gas pedal, jeez!" Like I was just aggravated, and I'm like, whatever. So then I started having dreams. Now he got this attachment up at Lake George. My family and I grew up in Warrensburg, New York, which is the next town over. So I started having dreams and feeling like I just need to go home. And something just kept on telling me in my dream, "You need to go home. You need to go home." And in my head, like I wake up and I'm like, "What the, man, come on. I'm home. Why is it telling me I need to go home?" And then I was like, wait a minute. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, man. Mike got this thing from Lake George. Next town over is Warrensburg. What if this thing is attached to me because it knew that I grew up in that area and I can take it back home? So I called Mike. I was like, dude, I need to take you guys to show you where I grew up.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? I was like, I don't want to tell you, but I'm pretty sure that whatever is attached to you that you got up there knows I grew up there. I got to go home. I got to go home to where I used to go all the time. Okay. We need to go. He's like, all right, well, your wife off this weekend? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right, well, we'll take a road trip this weekend. It's like, cool, because I want the hot dogs from Dirty John's hot dog shop up there. It's New Way Lunch, but it's called Dirty John Hot Dogs.
Harmless plug.
Yeah. So I was like, it's cool because I want to go up there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool. So we go up there. We get up to Lake George. Right after we got off the exit, my wife falls asleep. And I'm like, really, you fall asleep now? Whatever. So we drive past the fort. We drive past the lake. Go over the highway. Enter Lake Warrensburg. I stopped at McDonald's, used the restroom. Driving. Trying to show them. My wife wakes up but her eyes are like black, right? And she's like, "Where's the pond?" I was like, "There's no pond. The lake. Where's the lake? I thought you said there was a lake. There's a lake. Where is it?" I was like, "We already went by it." She goes, "You didn't?" "No, we didn't. Where's the lake?" And then she falls back asleep. So I keep on driving. I'm showing them, and I was like, "Dude, my mind went blank to show them the houses that my family owned, where I grew up, going to." And I was like, "You know what? Let's just go back." I don't know. My mind's. So we drive through Warrensburg. We're getting towards going down to go over the highway to go back towards Lake George. Mike looks at me and goes, "Dude, I feel pissed off. I feel angry." I was like, "Yeah, me too, dude. I don't know what it is, but everything's aggravating me. Like, the traffic light took too long or whatever." So we kept on going. We go past the Lake George. We come up to the traffic light, and the fort is up on the left. Traffic light turns green. We drive past the fort. My wife wakes up, goes, "I thought you were going to show us where you live." I was like, "I tried, but you were sleeping and you woke up." We told her. She goes, "I did. I wasn't sleeping. You haven't driven us past there yet." And we were all fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like whatever attached, like I said, whatever attached to him.
Right.
Yep.
Knew that I grew up there.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the next town over, and if it could attach to me, aggravate me enough, start having in my dreams that I need to go home,
Right.
that I could take it back home.
So
But it's like the light, when we came up to the light where going, when we just got there, we passed the fort and there's the traffic light right after. It was green, so we kept on going. It's like, because that light, the way I see it is that light was green. If it was red and we would have stopped, it's like it could have got off the bus, went back to where it was, and everything would have been fine. But because it was green, it didn't get the chance,
Yeah.
And back to your, with this whole two things, back to the whole thing is, even with those two scenarios of White Hill and that, both of those weren't demonic.
Yeah,
Right.
my
So
honest
there's
my,
the thing. It's just two angry spirits.
my honest
Right.
opinion about the whole demonic thing is that these, I hate to say it, but like the YouTubers and all this kind of stuff, everything is in their headline for their videos.
Yes.
Demonic.
Yes.
Demonic. You got these TV shows, we won't say the name, but demonic. Pretty much the only show left on TV anyways. And that's what people think now. Automatically, if something is thrown or something's angry or something happens, the feeling shifts in the house. Oh my God, I have a demon in my house. It's demonic.
Yeah.
The first thing we always tell people is there's such thing as angry spirits. Remember, you're on their property, you're on their time.
You're in their
You're
house.
affecting their house.
You're
They grew
moving
up. Some
their
of these
stuff.
people built this house with their own hands. How do you think they feel that you're now living here or you're changing things up?
Right.
I just believe that 99% of the time, it's not demonic. There's that 1%. Don't get me wrong. There's 1%. So we've talked to priests before. We've talked to
We had
mediums that have experienced certain things with
We've had a
demonic
guest
things.
on our YouTube.
Yeah.
Our
Our we had a demonologist on our podcast. They're out there, and even the demonologist said it's only 1%. Not everything is demonic, and
He
these
said out of all the
shows
cases,
are
4 of
just
them.
sending the wrong vibes to these people out there right now. It's not how it is. It's not like that. They're doing it. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. 99% of the time, they're doing it for ratings. They're doing it for
Right.
viewers. They're doing it for followers.
Yeah.
And that's not us. We're here for the
We're
evidence.
here to
We're
show
here for
you
the
what it really
research.
is.
We're here to have fun doing what we love. We love the research. We love the history. I'm a big history freak. I love doing all the history after the investigations. I like to
Right.
go in there open-minded to see what we can get and then see if we can match it with the history afterwards. That's our goal.
No,
And
absolutely. Like I said, I mean, that is what it's truly about, is just doing the research and looking into the stories And yeah, there are shows out there that have to call everything demonic and whatnot. But, you know, I mean, me and Michael John ourselves were very fortunate about 3 or 4 years ago, I think now, Michael John, that we were actually part of an exorcism.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
Somebody that we are was really good friends with, who is an exorcist priest themselves. They had a case that was close by us, and we his normal team was everybody was like sick, and I think one guy even had a broken leg or something. But he couldn't use his normal team, so he was coming to Windsor. Um, so we kind of all hooked up, and he kind of approached us. He goes, "Well, guys, I've got this case, and I've been working with the family for about 2 years at this point. Because of the COVID thing, he couldn't really travel down here, so he was working with them." And he goes, "I would really like you guys to be my backup for this." And we're like, okay, a part of me was excited, but at the same time scary, because you know what you're walking into, and that is a
Absolutely.
demonic case with this family. What I really liked about what we experienced was he did tell us a lot of details, because he wanted to see what we would sense when we walked in the house. And we walked through the whole house, and then we kind of just told him what we picked up, and and he would match it up with what he's been dealing with the family and everything. But when it really came down to the actual um, exorcism itself, the whole process, the whole thing that we got to experience, and I tell people it's nothing like what Hollywood makes out to be. Nobody was spinning their head. Nobody was puking green stuff. Nobody, it
Yeah.
really, I tell
Yeah.
people, if you were to meet this individual and talk to them, you would have never known what they were truly dealing with. And I mean, it was just, but in the sense, it was something that both me and Michael John never thought we would ever be a part of, but very glad that we've got to share that experience to
So once in a
say,
lifetime. Yeah.
wow,
Exactly.
this was truly interesting to be asked to be a part of it, and then actually see what an exorcism really looks like, because you truly don't know, because everything we watch on TV is Hollywood influenced.
Yeah.
They rarely ever film and document real exorcism cases. Everything
Nope.
is, but it was truly an honor. Always grateful
That's
for
awesome.
every experience in the paranormal field that we get to check off on our bucket list.
Yeah.
But you know but yeah, so we can understand the whole. I just love it how people just automatically put a label on it as demonic, instead of,
Mhm.
you ever think that the person, that when they were alive they were just a negative person. So I believe the
Exactly.
way you are on this earth and during your lifetime is how you're going to be in the afterlife. So if you're a miserable person now, you're going to be a miserable person when you cross over as well. So it doesn't
Absolutely.
matter.
Or someone
I
that you
just
get
said
to be
people are
before
going to
you
be
get in.
screwed when I die, because I'm going to be the guy that's going to mess with everybody's head.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been scratched on multiple private cases, and I never thought it was demonic. I mean, I just
Right.
thought they were angry. Like, by the size of me, I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. They get intimidated. So when we're on cases, I get a lot of the feeling they come after me a lot. I can feel them when they're behind me. I can see them when I can feel it all around me. And I get scratched all the time. I get pushed all the time, but I don't think it's ever demonic.
And if they can't get to him, that's when they go, "Oh, he's small," and like I have a big heart. Like I don't like block anything out, or like even negative people. Like if they're negative, cool. Like I'll still talk to you until you do me wrong. If you do me wrong,
Right.
then you get pushed aside. But I don't judge anybody for the way they want to live their life. And there's been time, like I said, White Hill. There's like, why did they go after him? Because they couldn't get to him, you know.
Right.
But again,
Absolutely.
not demonic. Everything, like, that's the thing, like, makes sense. It irks you because, like, every time you go to a private case and they say, well, the door's been slamming, this has flown off, it's been messing with me, it's made me hate this person or this person. Yeah.
Right.
I know from what I've seen in YouTube and this and that, this is demonic. It's
one guy, I'm not going to say the name of the family out of respect, where they're from or anything like that, but there's a case we went on, and the owner of the place actually wore a tinfoil hat because he felt that's the way it protected him. And when we got to the house and we opened it and we saw him in a tinfoil hat, we were like, what are we dealing with here?
Yeah.
And it did, though. Like, he would take it off, and I don't know if it's, sometimes it messes with your head. You get in your head, it messes with you. So he took the hat off, and you could tell, like, something was affecting him. As soon as he put it back on, he felt better. But is that messing with his head? Is he getting into his head? Or is it actually something that's physically there messing with him?
And that's the thing with a lot of cases. I'm sure you guys completely understand where I'm coming from with this. There's a fine percentage of when people reach out to you, what's legit and what's just, oh my God. That's why questionnaires are always so good to have, kind of weed through the crazy, with all due respect out there to people. But some people, there's nothing going on. There's just something going on up here instead, unfortunately.
My first private case that we went on, this was a long time ago. This was another team that I worked with, was in Connecticut. And unfortunately, it was drug related. They were shooting up, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have the right balance. This is turning on by itself. I don't remember this being on. This is happening. This is happening." And every half hour, the owner of the house would go into the bedroom for like 5 minutes and then come back out, and he would be acting a little differently. Finally, we were sitting on the couch getting stuff together, and the guy was so messed up he forgot to close the door behind him. And I look in, and there he is in the corner with a needle into his arm.
Damn.
And I told the owner, I told the guy that was the team I was working with, I said, it's time to go. We figured out what the problem is.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're going to deal with cases where people are on drugs thinking that, oh my God, things are happening when it's
psychosis.
What they're experiencing. Yep. And the other issue, too, is mental. A lot of things are mental health related, and a lot of people don't realize that. And we try to explain that to some people that are dealing with things that they're mental issues in their head. Like, that has to do with a lot of private cases, unfortunately. They've been dealing with something, and they do it to themselves. They get in their head, and they think, oh, my God, I think something's here, when it's really just them dealing with something personally.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
absolutely. That's mental health is a lot, and that's why you have to know what you're dealing with, especially with private cases. You choose to go into a fort or a prison or any one of these haunted locations. Then you would have to rely on the people that you're really working with. Like, does anybody else on this team have mental issues?
Yep.
Stuff like that. But so I just want to shift gears a little bit because we love to we always love to find out what all of our guests are into and stuff like that. So we're going to switch it over to the cryptid side. Have you guys, where you guys are at, do you guys have cryptid sightings where you guys are at?
I never really got into that.
I've never gotten into the whole cryptid things. There is stories for Connecticut. I'm pretty sure there's stories for a lot of the places. Connecticut does have a lot of stories about cryptids, UFOs, sightings, and all that kind of stuff. But something that we thought about getting into eventually,
right,
to keep it expanded into our horizon of stuff that we're doing now. So we haven't worked on it yet, but we've been hearing stories and reading things, and I know upper state New York has a lot of things too.
I mean, because like I know with us being over here in Canada, I mean, it just seems like since the pandemic thing is kind of slowed down a little bit, like the whole cryptid world kind of exploded. Like stories,
Yep.
experiences, as well as the UFO experiences and whatnot, and the whole what is Bigfoot. So I want to get what you guys theories or what you guys believe that a Bigfoot or do you guys actually believe in aliens as well?
I
So,
believe there's something out there. I truly believe there's something outside this planet. What is it? Not sure. Alien wise, absolutely. There could be. I'm not going to deny it. I believe there's another generation that we don't even know about. Bigfoot wise, it's possible. I believe that could be. I believe there could be a Bigfoot out there. Several big feet, as we call it, big feet, Bigfoot out there. Um, there's a guy that I follow, Richie B. He's part of the Get Haunted Network, and he does the whole
Good guy.
Bigfoot experience and all that stuff. Great guy, and he's got some amazing evidence. I've been watching his videos, and be honestly, since I've been watching him, I believe in it. I believe that there might be something out there. You know, everyone has their own stories and opinions, but I would like to experience firsthand in person to see. I would love to hear their scream or whatever noise they make to see if it's really out there. Like
Right.
Richie B hears it all the time. He has videos of the footsteps and everything like that, and he's a great guy. So I would love to hook up with him one time and take a look and see what there is out there.
And then, like, I mean, there's been times where in my life, I've looked up in the sky and like, dude, it's not a plane. Pardon my French. What the fuck was that? Like you don't know, and you don't want to say because dude, did you see that? Because that just went from left, right, up, down,
Yeah.
and then disappeared.
so
And
fast.
planes, yeah. And then with growing up family and going up to upstate New York all the time, one of my uncles, a cousin, but I used to call him uncle. He was 100% into and believed in Bigfoot, and there's times where we're out riding out in the mountains on the quads, and like it looked like a bear standing up, but bears don't run like that, And it's like, what was that? And he'd be like, "That's Bigfoot. Did you see him?" I was like, "I saw something. I thought it was a bear." He goes, "Bears don't run like humans," and I'm like, "Oh, you're right." Then there's another group I watch. What's their show online? Oh, the Army guy, heavy.
Oh,
big guy.
Oh,
we met them.
Expedition
We met
Bigfoot.
Yes.
No,
We-
no, not Expedition Bigfoot.
I thought it was. Those
No, they
four
go-
guys. There's 4 guys, right?
Yeah, there's an Army.
There's Ronnie LeBlanc. There's Russ Cord, who is the military guy, and then they
Bald
have he's the bald guy, or he's got very short buzz cut.
No, this guy. These are like some like backwoods.
Oh, is that
Bobo?
Is that
Bobo?
Yeah,
The guy Bobo?
Bobo, or what's the
It's
other
4 of
one?
them. But no,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, there's like really big, heavy set guy.
think
Yeah, I
that is
think
No, it's not Expedition Bigfoot. I watch it on.
no.
Uh,
No,
Go
because
on.
Expedition Bigfoot, there's really only like 3 of them. There's Bryce, who is like the guy who goes and does gets a lot of the stories, and he forwards the information to a lot of
Is it Mountain Monsters?
mountain
Maybe.
monsters. Yeah, that's that. I mean, I've only watched Expedition Bigfoot just because
Oh.
Ronnie is a really good friend of ours.
He's a
and
great guy. I've
he's-
not met him personally, but I watched some of his stuff. He's a good guy, and A lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of people around our area know him.
All right, so let's see.
Yeah, very respected individual for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's-
yeah. It was Mountain Monsters.
Mountain Monsters.
So like I started we met them down at a Paragon at Benner's. Awesome group of guys, you know,
cool.
and I started watching their show like seriously after I would catch it and watch some stuff, but you know, like when you're watching stuff that comes on after whatever you just watched, you sometimes pay attention, but you don't really get into it. But after meeting them, I was like, man, I gotta go home and start from season 1, episode 1, you know, like and watch. And I went home and I started watching, and I'm like, you know, that explains a lot to like some of the stuff growing out in upstate New York, going there.
Yeah.
And then like you watch the evidence they get, and it's like you like it's not like stuff where you go, did that really happen? Or you know, was that someone like that happened?
Yeah.
Like they have like the photos they show
Yeah.
of these creatures or whatever they catch. Like you don't fake that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, I have a whole new respect for the Bigfoot community. Michael John, who's really educated me cryptids, because that's his thing. He's truly into the Bigfoot and the Dogman stories. And I mean, it's so fascinating just to think that there is a type of creature out there running our woods, and they've got abilities that just for one reason or another they can elude us very easily if they truly wanted to. And for the fortunate people who actually do get to have actual sightings and look them in the eyes, you know, we say, hey, everything is up for an experience, that is for sure.
Absolutely.
But Michael John looks like he's got a really serious question he's got to ask.
Just listening, man. No.
But oh, go ahead, Michael John. Sorry,
I lost my train of thought, man. You're good.
sorry.
Carry on, soldier boy.
So guys, it's like I can't believe a whole hour has just passed us by.
I know that was so quick.
So tell our viewers how they could find you, where you guys going to be next, where could they possibly meet you guys, and just give us the whole lowdown of where everything you guys are doing.
We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We're actually co-hosting a public event in November 16th with Get Haunted at Mid-Orange Correctional Facility in Warwick, New York. Tickets are on sale for that. And then we're also doing our own event in Connecticut, November 2nd at the Primitive Crow in Basra, Connecticut, which is another great, amazing location. It's been on Ghost Hunters. So we're going to be those two events that we got going on. We're currently filming for YouTube. We have a couple locations that were already filmed.
Yep.
And we got a location.
House.
Yeah, Hinsdale House was one of them.
Really
We got the Wilson Castle up in Vermont coming up in August that we're going to be filming in next. Our major one that we're using as a season finale is we're going down to Sweet Springs Sanitarium. We rented the place out for the weekend in West Virginia, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're at public events here and there, you know, helping out Get Haunted, helping out other companies, and you can find us anywhere. We're always down to chat, and if people have questions, we're here to help you out.
Send us a message on.
We love the support, and we're trying to get the old school paranormal back, where everyone works together and has fun, love what they do.
Absolutely. Could not have said it better myself. Before you guys go, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Mike, Adam, it's been a complete pleasure talking to you guys over the past hour, getting to know you guys, I've been watching you guys for a while, watching you guys, what you're doing, and you're out there, you're doing it, you're living your passion. And that's what me and Michael John love the most, are the people that are out there doing it for the passion, not because they want a TV deal or not because they want to be rich and famous, but because they're so passionate about, doing the ghost hunting and finding it,
Yes.
researching, doing it what it is,
Absolutely.
what you guys are doing. So, guys, keep it up. I'll
Thank
always
you.
be following you
Thanks.
guys. You guys got a big fan sitting right here, and I look forward to meeting you guys down the road for sure.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Thank you so much for having us
meet you
on.
guys, and maybe one day work with both of you. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
Never say never. Always something to look forward to up the road. Always, gentlemen, Mike, Adam, a privilege to have you both on. Thank you for hanging around the comfy couch, if you will, the proverbial comfy couch, just chatting like a few friends here, and that's what it's all about. Best friends become brothers. Two brothers, extreme paranormal. Mike
One
and Adam
last
out of
thing.
Middletown, Connecticut. Thank you.
One
both.
last thing we want to say too is
sorry.
again for Shaylee, we love you. Hit that support, donate, get those T-shirts. We're thinking of you, Dan, Shaylee, the family.
yeah, you guys.
We're here for you guys. We love you guys.
You
Keep
guys
up the
need
fight.
anything, if we can help, we will.
We're not far from New York. We're always around.
And
So
you know, cancer hits home for both of us. When you said get a tissue, I was over here crying. You know,
that video
and-
was amazing.
and
Yes.
no kid should have to fight that, let alone fight it alone.
Well, you got a great support system. We're all here for you.
We're all here for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
You said it all right there, boys. Thank you so much again for speaking up on that. Very, very tough young lady. You know what a soldier she is.
Yes, she is.
Absolutely.
Word enough. You know, watching her, that's a hell of a fight right there, man. You can't help but admire her for that, and she's gonna get through it for sure. I mean, there's
Absolutely.
a lot of support her way, a lot of love her way from friends, family, the paranormal community. However that resonates, all the above, for sure. With that being said, thank you to the TPV Nation, the creeps, the freaks, and the weirdos from day one to day now. We don't get to do what we do, and that's this right here, right now. With that, we'll see you all on the other side, of course. But in the meantime, and in between time, I want to say, happy hauntings.
Happy huntings.
Happy hauntings.
Happy hauntings.